Huh? This episode of the Golf Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Game Time, your home for the lowest price tickets guaranteed. Download the Game Time app today and use promo code SGPN for $20 off. And we're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Play Underdogs Pick'em for a chance to win 100 times your money. Promo code SGPN at UnderdogFantasy.com for a 100% deposit bonus. And we're also brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit HOFBets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. All right, D-Gens, welcome back. We're doing the Mexico Open preview. Everybody, I can't hear it over everybody's excitement. Oh, yes. Hello, Steve. How are you? Ready for this week, man?
I am, but I think we needed to debrief after the really thrilling Sunday we saw.
At least it was exciting back then.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this was I texted. I don't know if I texted you or I mentioned in Discord, but this season has lacked a lot of juice. And around hole 11, when all five guys were 14 under with the names there, this was the first time I felt like legitimate tension and stakes, and I didn't have anything outright even sweating at that point. Everything was dead for me because I had
English up until he ejected on 12.
Congratulations, sir.
Yeah, he put it to native, and then it said hit 60 feet. Still had 180 on his fourth shot, and I was like, all right, goodbye, Harris, goodbye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I mean, this was especially because we talked about this in a little bit, where two of the most magnetic stars didn't even make the weekend. One because he, I guess, has the flu, despite the fact that he was limping around and complained of back spasms on Thursday. And then the other guy, apparently, because he signed the incorrect scorecard, people lost their mind about a rule that's been around for generations. But yeah, I mean, listen, and then Justin Thomas didn't make the cut. So you got three guys right there that pull ratings. That's tough scene, but it all were, and it looked like Cantlay was going to run away with it after 36 holes. But listen, you got a lot of really good guys. It's coming down on Sunday. They were all tied. It's Riviera, a great golf course, one that promotes a lot of drama in the back nine. And it was the first time I felt like, there's some juice on the PGA Tour. Like, this is exactly what I wanted and needed. And I mean, it delivered, and congratulations to Hideki. There's one thing I know, death taxes don't give Hideki a 5-shot deficit with 9 holes to go, because he's going to rip it. You should have learned at the Sony, everybody. Never count him out.
It's true. I love that. Every time you remind me of that ticket, it warms my heart. So speaking of flu, did you hear the caddy come out and make an excuse for old fucking Patrick Cantlay, saying that, well, Patty woke up with a 100-degree fever, and he hasn't really been right.
Well, hold on. Let's give Hideki his due first before we start crapping on people. Okay. Fine. So I went back and listen. Hideki was not on my radar. No, I think if you liked Hideki this week, it was basically it's a lot of faith. Okay, his ball striking wasn't very good coming in. The big thing about handicapping this golf course was guys were ripping driver all over the place. It's about distance at this point. We have both mentioned this. Hideki has lost pop. He's not very good off the tee. He did do well off the tee at Pebble Beach because he's not using driver. Did not hit the ball great at Phoenix. It wasn't really on my radar. But that dude was absolute nails today. And I love Hideki. It was great to see vintage Hideki just flagging iron shots. The 2 shots he hit on 15 and 16 were absolutely unbelievable shots.
Unbelievable. Dude, I thought he was gonna ace. It was that fucking close. It was beautiful.
Mm-hmm. No, I mean, they're both, it literally looked like the same shot. It was just right of the hole and just curled back in. Like, man, that was nice to see, because it sucks that he's had a lot of these neck injuries. Because he's been around for a while. Like, he's been relevant since 2013. That's when he broke through. And and the fact that he's only got one major, it's kind of a crime with how good of a ball striker he is. Obviously, with the putting, that's such hit or miss. But he was draining a bunch of putts today. He was nails with the putts under 5 feet, which are the ones he's really shaky with. And I mean, he was just hanging around. He was, I think, 6 back heading today. Somebody posted that he was 130-1 entering into the final round today.
I saw a bunch of 200s.
Yeah. So congratulations to people who have 70-1. You actually got bad CLV based on where you could have got him. But no. If you took a chance on Hideki, congratulations. Makes sense. Masters guys do very well here.
Hey, dude, that list is crazy.
What's that?
The correlation of who wins at the Masters and who wins here is nuts. It's fucking deep.
Yeah, Dustin Johnson, Bubba Watson,
Mike
John
Weir.
Rahm, Mike Weir. Yeah, I mean, and listen, the only thing that we got to be concerned about is that 9 of the last 17 winners at Riviera have gone to live. So they've been sniffing around trying to get their star Japanese player over there. Maybe, maybe I'm being facetious, but, it's kind of a funny trend that guys who tend to go on live actually win this way. But listen, that was awesome. I love seeing him just stomp on everybody's throat, especially two guys that were in the mix that just kind of proved exactly who they were. Do you want to actually give an apology to Will Zalatoris, though? Because you have been very critical of him over the last couple of weeks. That was impressive.
He's treading in the right direction, right? I still don't trust that putter. I'm like watching him. Like I had 100% faith he was not going to win this fucking golf tournament. Like 100. Like I knew he wasn't going to win. Like, I don't know. It's just,
you had to have been nervous at one point.
I'm nervous. Well, I was rooting for Hideki. I had no money on the line, so I wasn't nervous, right? So I guess that's the wrong way to put it. But like, as far as like, oh shit, I don't want Will Z to win just because I've been running my mouth about him. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but I don't know. I forget what hole it was, but as soon as he had to lay up out of that bunker with the lip, I thought he was toast at that point. Like I was like, okay, I don't have to worry about him anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but by the way, and we're going to talk about this golf course coming up in a little bit, where hazards aren't really in the direct eye line of where guys are really going to hit it. The 15 though, God, that made these guys so scared and intimidated. I mean, obviously there was the big chat about Hovland going up 17. I don't think he ever did that at all. But guys, just because if you're in that bunker around the corner of the dog legs there, like you're dead, you're laying up.
Dead.
Yeah, it's a bogey at that point. And you just saw guys just bailing out way left, and they're in a horrible spot in the rough. I noticed that they grew up the rough a little longer than what it usually was. They actually had a little tidbit. Maybe we can remember this, or maybe I'll make a note for next year that the signature events, they're actually growing up the rough a little thicker than what it usually is. Yeah. So makes it play a little different, but yeah, I mean, there were so many good holes at Riviera this week.
Did you hear Rory? Did you hear Rory with the headset giving the play-by-play?
Yeah, I mean that was supposed to be Tiger in the spot today, but clearly he was sick.
Well, either way, Rory did great. I thought Rory did awesome. He said, "Oh, I've been there. He's not good from there." Like he's like he wasn't pulling any punches. He's like, "Yeah, that was terrible," or like that was a really bad whatever. I liked him, but he also, and I forgot this. I heard this somewhere previous to the week. Maybe you said it when we weren't talking on the show about 10. Softening the edges a little bit to try to make it a little easier. It still puts these guys in a little bit of a mental pretzel, like a Luke List bogey the last two rounds. Like I still really love that hole. I wonder if they're gonna. You think that's the most changes they're gonna do to it because they made it a little easier this year? Well,
I don't think necessarily they made it easier. What they did was there were so many unpinnable positions on 10 because of just how much the sand caps over time. Blast on the bunker. Built it up over a bit. Well, there's just some certain ridges where if you're right or left of the green, like you just can't get to a pin position there. Basically, the whole middle section was pretty much unpinnable. So they ended up making a couple pin positions where it was a little flatter there. I don't know if I would necessarily call it easier. I definitely saw guys really screw that hole up, especially
because they have to think on that hole.
Yeah. Well, what you can't do is miss right. That is the only thing you really can't do. If you miss left, you can at least get back to the front apron there and try and 2-putt up. Yeah. But if you miss right, you're pretty much dead. Well, and then we saw that happen a lot this week. Yeah, because I mean,
Rory said Rory said, "Oh, God,
you can go ahead."
That's fine. I was just gonna say, Rory said that he loves hole 10, whether he does well on it or not, because it makes the golfers think. It's not just hit it as far as you can and then figure it out from there. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting coming from Rory, who fucking crushes the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the strategy now is kind of hit it as far as you can. The only person who really lays up now is Justin Thomas, which that was a disaster this week.
He sucks.
That was... I don't know if I'm more disappointed in my betting card with him or Kyle Morikawa. But I think
at least Morikawa made a run today.
Yeah, but so I had, I think, irrationally high expectation. We'll get to, once we start crapping on people, we'll get to them. But no, I thought 10 played great. 15 is a great hole. 18 is obviously a classic. I love watching Riviera. I love watching these guys really just befuddled with how the green complexes are. 4 was ridiculously tough. I mean, it's kind of unfair in these conditions because
dude, 2 was playing hard.
Well, that's supposed to play hard.
I know, but like I feel like it was all. I feel like all week. Like I feel like there was no easy pin on two because it was like everybody starting -1, everyone back to even.
Well, I mean that's a George Thomas principle. I mean, it's always it's a handshake opening hole. You saw at LECC a handshake opening hole, then a ball buster on number 2. It's like I think DJ went birdie on that Friday, and then he made triple on the second hole. Like that's what George Thomas does. Like that's how he designs golf courses. But 4 in these conditions, I would say probably a little unfair. The greens were a lot firmer than what I thought they were, and how you want to play that hole is you got to hit it so it's because it's a Redan green. You got to hit the apron and let the ball funnel and trickle right back to the green, right in the front, and it'll funnel back to the left there. If you're coming in with like a 240-yard chart straight ahead, you saw guys, they just run through the green. Or it's really far carry to, over that front bunker there. You don't have a lot of room. Green slopes pretty hard from right to left. And in these conditions, that's why it was a 17% green regulation rate. So, I mean, maybe that's another green they might have to look at. But usually it's not a problem because, the fairways are basically playing pretty soft. So, but overall, though, I love Riviera. It was a great back 9. I love that Hideki just kind of put the boots to everybody. Good to see him playing well again. It was good to see it. Zalatoris playing well again. And it was good to confirm some things about a couple guys in the final group that we all really knew about them. And they just kind of confirmed our biases at the end.
Fucking loses. All right, before we shit on people, you want to just want to pay a bill?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So listen, game time. Football's over, but still you got baseball coming up for spring training. You got NBA, NHL still going on, and any other concert tickets. So listen, and buying tickets to your favorite events shouldn't be stressful. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for everything you love with killer deals on last minute tickets and their best price guarantee. You can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hype for the fun that you will have. They got flash deals, easy to find tickets of every kind of event in your area. Plus, they get images of seat view and the biggest thing, lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection, etc. So it's the place for last minute tickets. Forget planning months in advance. Get exclusive flash deals. A Game Time guarantee means you'll always get the best price if you find tickets in the same section in a row for less. Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. It's the fastest growing ticket app in the country for a reason. So buy your tickets in a matter of seconds. Tickets get directly sent to your phone so you don't have to dig through your email. So snag the tickets without the stress. Download the Game Time app and create an account. And you just go to SGPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Redeem code SGPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute prices. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And then Underdog Fantasy, football's over, but you can still play alongside all your favorite fantasy players, NBA, NHL, and college basketball and golf. Simply pick higher or lower on your favorite players' fantasy stats and cash in, and you can win 100 times your money with some spicy plays. So watch along, make your picks over and maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. When you sign up with code GOLF SGPN, Underdog will double your first deposit up to $100. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code GOLF SGPN. Which apparently Matt let me know that Underdog is leaving Florida.
Oh no!
Awful. I love Underdog.
Why? Because they legalized sports gambling there?
I think there's some. So I read it was basically like a court debriefing, and I knew what it meant when I read it, and I could have told you 3 days ago, but today, nope. It's all gone. It's just basically they're getting squeezed for a bunch of money, game of chance versus game of skill type shit, and they're just going to pull out. They don't want to pay the fees, I think.
All right. Well, you know what? I mean, Georgia's just a quick drive across the border for you. Maybe you can go over there and play for, at some point.
Georgia's gross.
It is gross. I know. You might have to change that opinion a little bit, though. So
I lived in Georgia, bro. I lived in Georgia for fucking 5 years.
That is true. All right, let's talk about the butt buddies.
Oh, the worst. Who's worse? It's got to be Cantlay, right?
I was about to ask you.
It's got to be Cantlay.
I'm going to.
He has a 5-shot lead. 5-shot lead on Friday. fine. Excuse the Saturday round, right? Going in, still has the lead going into Sunday. He makes what, seven pars for his on Saturday's round. Opens up with however many pars again. Bogey is just a terrible round of fucking golf. Just Cantlay is just such a gutless fucking douche. Like he's just a gutless douche, and I'm gonna make sure I put a deadbolt on tonight. Make sure he doesn't sneak in and murder me and my family, to put tick marks on his belt. But yeah, man, Xander. I guess maybe this is what I expect from Xander. Like, oh, you're gonna make a nice run and then have a gut. Usually it's on Sunday. He made a nice run on Saturday and had a gutless Sunday. I think Cantlay should be fucking ashamed of himself with a fucking 5-shot lead going into the weekend to just get decimated. Like he did. We ended up coming in 4th, 5th.
Okay. I'm going to play devil's advocate and go with Xander on this one.
All right. Why?
All right. So not a great front 9.
No.
Didn't really have it. But then when it looks like he was kind of out of it, birdie on 10, eagle on 11. The luck box eagle of the year, by the way. From that bunker, you're not really getting up and down from there. Hit the pin. New life, though.
Yep.
Tied for the lead. He proceeds to go bogey on 12, bogey on 13, bogey on 14. Stinky bogeys, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Not even bad bogeys.
Just not even unlucky stuff. Bad, horrible drives. Just nowhere off the planet. Just nowhere on the planet. Bad iron shots. Like he laid up into the rough on the 12 there.
Oh, so bad.
But then, as soon as he's officially out of it, clears himself there, he birdies 15, birdies 17, hits a great approach shot on 18, misses the putt.
That he deserved to miss that putt too. Fuck him. He didn't.
As soon as Xander has cleared contention at that point, then he decides, hey, you know what? Pressure's off. I'm going to start playing some good golf. I would say, look, I mean, with Cantlay, I can at least say he hasn't been playing all that good this year. Like the first 2 rounds are kind of an anomaly based on what he was doing. I understand that he's fairly gutless at a lot of times. It's probably why, like at majors, I don't take him seriously unless he's out of contention and making a run. Who knows? And listen, I mean, Tiger apparently had the flu. I'm going to guess maybe JT might have had the flu. Jordan Spieth apparently wasn't feeling all that great. So something was going around.
Yeah.
Maybe he was legit. Okay. But with Xander, though, it's just the same thing over and over with him. As soon as he gets in the mix, like he gets that, like it's finally, let's get this round going. You're waiting for him to grab it. And 3 straight stinky bogeys in a row. At least with Cantlay, like he did not have it with the ball striking today. He was still kind of scrappy, at least trying to keep in it.
Yeah.
That was pretty gutless from Xander. And it's pretty discouraging. And he's always going to look good in the ball striking stats. He's always going to look at the strokes gain because his floater is so big. But man, like when the chips are down, that dude showed exactly who he was today. Yeah. I mean, they both did, to be completely honest. It's like confirming everything that I think people think about these guys in a nutshell, which I want to deny. I want these guys to win more. I want them to be better. And they just always seem like they poop down their pants. And that's just how it is.
You know what's funny? You know what went through my brain today? Like watching these 2 fucking assholes just do exactly what we think they were going to do. I was like, oh, we have the President's Cup this year. These assholes are going to beat the bag out of whatever fucking team gets trotted out by the non-Euros. And they are going to fucking act like they are the fucking cock of the walk and that they're like the big dogs. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to be triggered in about fucking 7 months watching the fucking President's Cup. Like I'm already getting irritated and I don't even know who's on the fucking team yet, but they can go out and do that with that type of competition. They shit themselves over in fucking Italy. They're going to beat the bag out of some subpar fucking international team. And they're going to act like they're killers and they're closers with your no hat and trying to fucking get people riled up. Cantlay, and FedEx Player of the Year, still fucking salty about that. He shouldn't have won when Rahm had to get disqualified. Like, I don't know. It's a luck box Cantlay, like just luck box.
I think this is a conversation for Gomez. I think you're selling this international team a little short. Do you know where the President's Cup is next year?
It's in Australia, right?
No, it's in Canada. The Canadians are playing well
that's
right
right.
now.
Well, yeah, that's right. Because they were talking about Connors, Svensson.
Nick Taylor.
Oh, yeah, Taylor. Yeah, obviously. Yeah.
You got Hideki back here. You got the Koreans. I mean, some of them are playing okay. Sungjae kind of sucks right now.
So does Siwoo.
They might be okay. And listen, like, even with, and I pointed this out when I talked about this Ryder Cup team last year. When they go on the road, they melt. It doesn't matter who's on the international team. Yeah, like in Korea, they barely won. In Australia, they barely won. Like, if I get like a spread bet, I might end up hammering the internationals, depending on what I get for that. But let's go back to this one. So,
sorry. I know it's random that I thought about that today, but
yeah, but I mean, like, look, like, I think the one thing too is like we kind of roll our eyes with Cantlay having the flu at this point. I think just because like we heard all this bullshit about what happened at the Ryder Cup and he denied it, but still, like, it was pretty much confirmed by a lot of people that there was some issue about not getting paid and that there was no money being exchanged there. And he just loses a lot of credibility at this point when, you know, like he has a really bad performance and he just blames on something else. Like, I don't understand how we can really take him at face value based on some things he's been pretty two-faced about some stuff. So
I'm so surprised a soft country club douchebag wants to blame a bad performance on somebody else. Like, there's no accountability with these guys. It's just like that. Like, one of the reasons why the NBA has turned the way it is, in my opinion, is like the AAU culture. Like, these kids are coddled from fucking 8 years old on. They're told yes their whole lives, and nothing's ever their fault. It's always somebody else's fault. They got some fucking crazy sports parent fucking blaming the coach, blaming all the other players. And in golf, it's the same shit, except there's nobody else players to blame. So they want to come up with other shit. The golf course wasn't set up correctly. I had a nagging hip injury. I had the sniffles. Like, no, Patrick, you're still the best. Don't worry, Daddy still loves you. You should have won this. Like, I don't know. I don't like the whole mindset of it. It's irritating to me.
Well, I mean, so there were people on Friday night asking, should they hedge on Cantlay? And this is what I told them. I said, look, you got a top 10 player in the world who has a 5-stroke lead, who's playing good at that point.
Yeah, real good.
With the next premium player, like an actual kind of legit threat, was like 7 shots back at that point.
Yep.
You got to chalk it up to if Cantlay ends up blowing it, like, it is what it is. Like, you're hedging a 20-1 ticket at that point with guys like 25-1, 18-1.
Yeah.
It like shit happens. And that's unfortunately the bad part about golf. Like, this isn't like betting the Chiefs. This isn't like betting like an NBA game where they're up 30 in the second half, which is essentially basically what happened with Cantlay. Like, that's like a 30-point lead. Like, you don't blow 5-shot leads when you're a premium player like that. And it just shit happens. And it's unfortunate that those guys just, had to endure the slow bleed. To me personally, if I'm going to lose something, I'd rather just have it quick.
Yeah, painful death. That was a slow, painful death.
Yeah, that was a 48-hour death march at that point. But
dude.
Yeah. I mean, listen, at least they got a sweat. All my outrights were dead from the beginning. I was very high on Collin Morikawa for a stupid reason. Apparently, here's when I knew I should be concerned. So after I make a TikTok about Collin Morikawa, after I go to bat for him with on our Tuesday betting show, I hear an unsubstantiated rumor, but it's basically confirmed, that so Collin has been very hesitant to switch drivers, does not like the QI10, whatever TaylorMade's putting out there. He wants to stay with the sim. And he had apparently an armada of TaylorMade folks basically telling him, look, you have to play our new driver. So he had about 10 of those guys on the range trying to figure out a good combination for his new driver. And hey, lo and behold, dude couldn't find a fairway this week. Like,
that's gotta be so for me, that's gotta be 100% mental.
It is.
How different is that driver compared to the Sim 2, especially when these guys are getting so close to the specifications and technology only gets better. It doesn't revert, right? So it's just gotta be a comfortability thing, right? Just like the goober lost it with his putter because Karen from accounting called in and said he can't have his grip looking like that, and now it changed his game for like 6 months. He couldn't putt anymore. Like, it's got to be in between the ears. It has to be. Like, I just believe in this equipment too much to think that the slightest difference is going to make you so much worse off the tee.
Well, I mean, it's not like they're not just going to Dick's and grabbing something off the rack.
No,
Like
I know. That's
all
what
of
I'm
it.
saying.
Well, that's the point, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm
All
saying.
of these things are customized. They could literally take like his Sim Max and
Right.
just slap whatever brand logo is on there and make it almost the exact same. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, Colin has kind of
Yeah.
come out the last, like, I think ever since Full Swing happened, bit of a prima donna. And he doesn't like change. He's very particular with certain stuff. And I guess he just got really hung up on him just wanting to play this one driver. And I think they made him switch this week and he sucked. So mea culpa on that one. That was pretty costly for me. Made a run today, but didn't matter. Lost money on it. JT was horrible, terrible chalk. I don't know. And then
I'm so mad that I played him in one and done because I was so scared after everybody was talking about him. So mad.
It happens. I mean, what's probably going to end up happening now is like everyone's going to discount him at like Bay Hill or Players, and like he'll end up doing well again. This is how this shit works. And then lastly, before we go to another ad break, Tiger. I guess before the quote unquote illness, how do you think he looked?
Not good. Like I think here's so I drive around a lot. Driving my kids to different fucking places on the goddamn weekend. So I was listening to PGA Sirius or whatever the fuck it's called. And two of the older guys, I don't know who the fuck they are. We're talking about it. And they said it right. They want him to turn into, what was the phrase they used? Not an exhibition golfer, but I can't, but whatever Jack became as he got older and, you know, whatever, yeah, like whatever those guys turned into, like where it was nice to see him play. They were never really in contention, but they were still like stewards of the game. And the fans just need to realize, hey, it's not, is Tiger going to win another fucking major? Let's just appreciate that he's out here playing and you get to see him. And I mean, like they said, he's 47 or whatever he is, but his medical, his medical card says he's fucking 74 based on all the problems he has. And yeah, look, I'm happy to see him play, but the talks of him like winning and stuff like that, like it just stinks. Just appreciate him for what he is and let him play a couple tournaments a year and cheer him on. That's it.
Well, I mean, it doesn't help that. I mean, look, if you think the color commentators on Live pumping out a lot of propaganda about
no shit,
the shit that they are saying on PG Tour Live about Tiger and his toughness and resiliency and how he still got it. Like just trying to
will it to happen,
keep the audience still kind of in this illusion that this guy can still be a top 10 golfer in the world when he's 48 years old, cannot use his lower body generate any power at this point. He even admitted that in his press conference that everything with his golf swing is with his hands.
Yep.
And memorizing where his hands need to be. And that's not a good way to play golf where you have to time everything with your hands on the downswing right there. And I didn't think he looked particularly good. He had some moments on Thursday, some birdies, some pretty sloppy stuff. But one of the things I was concerned with is the fact that he can only use his upper body to generate speed at this point. The guy's got a history of back problems. That's going to catch up to him. And lo and behold, hey, he's got the back spasms on Thursday.
Yep.
So I don't know. I mean, he claimed he had an illness. He had an IV. Fine. I'll take him in his word for it. But I didn't think he looked all that.
The ambulance is LeBron level drama. Like, all right, buddy, let's relax on the fucking ambulance having to take you somewhere. Like,
I did like that people thought that the In-N-Out burger that he woofed down on Wednesday was that was good shtick.
Can I tell you something that's probably not popular?
Okay.
In-N-Out burger is unbelievably fucking overrated.
All right. I've never had an In-N-Out burger because I've never been to California. So
they have it in Vegas. I ate it in Vegas. I've been to California. I didn't eat it there. I ate it in Vegas. And it's insanely fucking overrated. Like,
well, I mean, there's a chance that like the In-N-Out franchise in Vegas probably isn't like really good. It's like how Pat's cheesesteaks is a bad example because they're not very good either.
Maybe they're building
like Pat's cheesesteaks is like they franchise out of Atlantic City and they're not very good. So it'd probably be like that pizzeria up in my neck of the neighborhood that moved about 10 miles from your place. That's probably not gonna be very good either. I could probably go down there and be like, yeah, this is definitely not the Salvatore's I know up here. So it happens sometimes.
Maybe. I had Del Taco out in California. That was pretty good.
We had a Del Taco up here when I was like 6 years old and they closed.
Yeah, fucking nobody in the Northeast is like, fucking what? No, I'm not eating that.
No. So I mean, all right. I think we've talked enough about Riviera. entertaining tournament. I'm glad we finally got like a really good tournament early in the schedule. Hopefully the ratings were good because this was a really good back nine. And unfortunately, after that thrilling finish, the PGA Tour is going to kick themselves in the dick. And
Mexico,
really shitty tournament in Mexico that we will talk about right after the next ad break.
Yep, absolutely. So, Hall of Fame bets. You got to win bigger by betting smarter this NBA season with Hall of Fame bets, a sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NBA and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Enter any parlay idea into the Hall of Fame bets revolutionary parlay optimizer tool to get hit rates broken down by leg, as well as an expected probability for the entire parlay. Sort all players by hit rate for any bet to learn which players are hot, which ones got value. Stop betting in the dark and join over 30,000 researchers or users researching with Hall of Fame bets to craft more intelligent, data-driven parlays. Download the Hall of Fame bets app or visit HOFbets.com and use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame bets. And don't forget, if you guys listen to the audio version, go over to YouTube so you can see Steve's sexy face talk about grass and see how excited he gets. You guys don't get it on the audio version. He gets all blushy and it's pretty nice when he talks about certain agronomy. So go over there and give us some YouTube love.
Well, I mean, the good thing about these previews is the fact that it's now a video component. I'm actually showing you instead of just talking about, because like just talking about DataGolf and what's on there, it's hard to get a good idea. The fact that I now can kind of show you guys what I'm talking about, and it actually helps me. I don't have to prepare quite as much. I don't have to memorize all this shit. I can just say, hey, look at this graph right here. Like, see this right here? And kind of like talk it through like I'm doing a presentation. But all right, so we got the Mexico Open, which actually has a lot of history behind it. Like it hasn't been a PGA Tour event, but I think it's been around since it's like one of, I think, the oldest golf tournaments in the world. And really? Yeah, like I like you have guys like Lee Trevino's won it a couple times. I think Jack Nicklaus played a bunch of times. Like it was like one of those international events that a lot of these guys back in the 50s and 60s used to play. And then it became, like it's a national open, but it's really mostly for like the Mexican tour, whatever golf tour they got going down here. But they end up bringing it back for the PGA Tour, and it's good. Like I think this is maybe this is an unpopular take, but in whatever new, hopefully elevated golf tour we end up getting sometime, which now seems very far away based on comments about how, bring back the lit players, which maybe we'll talk about when we get to Jeddah.
Yeah.
I think like tournaments like the Mexico Open should be in the rotation. I think like whatever tournaments they have there should be like national opens. It should mean something, stuff with history behind it. Agreed. And it's better than having like the John Deere or the Rocket Mortgage. No offense to those tournaments, but like
John Deere can take offense. That tournament blows.
It kind of does. But having like the Mexico Open or just anything that was like historical significance, Canadian Open, like all those things should be in this. And that like I think they need to choose a better venue than this place. But I think I like the idea of having this type of tournament still exist and still be around. Unfortunately, this is just an afterthought. I think the PGA Tour is trying to accomplish a couple of things. One, they want to have a presence in Mexico. They had one for the WGC Mexico, which was a very entertaining tournament. Not a great golf course, but entertaining. But, the WGC's died. They have, obviously, the tournament formerly known as Mayakoba. Then that is over at El Cardinal. That's in the fall. But they're still trying to have a presence in Mexico to, I guess, grow the game. But with how they structure their schedule, we just went through a very jam-packed schedule with a lot of really good events. There has to be a breather. And unfortunately, tournaments like this are just going to get the shaft. And this one gets the shaft. So let's go through the field. We're not going to go through everybody. I'm going to do an exercise. Okay. You tell me yay or nay about, I'm going to try and guess who's on PGA Tour Live this week.
Oh, okay.
They'll have it. And that's another thing, too, that drives me nuts. They're going to have ShotLink at this thing. When all the other international events in the fall, they don't have it. They got that stupid little bug that they wear on their belts.
Well, it's because Ram has been there and pumping this place, and they knew that it would get, but now Ram's gone, and they still have all the equipment down there. So they're like, fuck it, we'll just keep it down there. It's fine. Monahan doesn't care. He's just going to fail up again. It doesn't matter what he does. So he doesn't really give a fuck.
All right. I am going to bet that Cam Champ minus 1,000 will be on PG Tour.
Oh, absolutely.
He will absolutely
100%.
be there. I obviously Tony Finau.
Yes.
Be part of the feature groups. Is Ryan Fox a big enough name for PG Tour Live?
He's just with us. He's a golf Twitter nerd.
I mean, I think he should be, but he probably won't.
Listen, I think he should be. That's not the point. I think that they won't have him on because they don't care about the European tour at all.
Okay. How about Doug Gim? Just had a good Phoenix Open, kind of a name.
It would make sense because he's a terrible fit for this golf course. So yeah, they'll probably put him on.
Okay. All right. Here's one that they will put on. Emiliano Grillo. He will be.
100%. 100%.
Latin or South American guy. So they want to, shoot one of the Spanish people in there.
Yeah.
Good name player.
He'll be paired up with Nico, the guy who won the Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Open.
Padraig Harrington, feature groups.
Maybe.
They like to put the old guys with some name power in there.
That's true.
Okay.
Oh, EVR.
Well, that's down the list. Hold on. Charlie Hoffman. He will be in feature groups.
Yep.
Somehow Nikolai Højgaard is not going to be in feature groups, and it's going to cause everybody to
no shot.
No chance.
No shot.
He should be, but he won't be. It's like how Ludwig wasn't in feature groups at the Worldwide Technologies.
The dumbest.
Fucking ridiculous.
The PGA just makes me so upset.
I couldn't believe that the only time on Thursday, Friday, I saw one of the best young players in the world who's on a goddamn Ryder Cup team when 6 months before he was in college. I only saw him make short putts on Thursday and Friday. Unbelievable that happened. But yeah, Højgaard's going to get that treatment. Let's see. I'm going to guess that Cage Lee feature groups.
Nah, it's not TPC.
Nah. Maverick McNeely, he'll be in feature groups.
Yeah, he'll be in a feature group.
He probably will be. Same thing with probably Brandt Snedeker because he carries.
Oh yeah, dude. Why is he's in every featured group? Why?
Because it's like him and Zach Johnson. People recognize the name at that point. He'll be in feature groups. I'm going to guess probably who else? JJ Spawn is probably in feature groups.
Yeah, I can see Spawn in there.
Yeah, because he was in feature groups over Ludwig at the El Cardinal for whatever reason.
No.
Johnny Vegas feature groups.
Oh yeah, good call. I'm probably gonna bet him this week.
And then probably EVR feature groups.
Yeah, because they like his fucking mustache.
Okay,
and his stupid pants.
So that was a struggle to get through feature groups. I hope you guys understand right now. This is a very tough field. This is fall level field quality.
Bad.
And I think Zalatoris was in the field. He withdrew because he had second place finish today. So he doesn't need to be in this field anymore. But this is a tough scene. And this probably means maybe there's too many tournaments on the BJ Tour. Maybe we need to build in some bye weeks and off weeks. Yeah, maybe chop it up. Maybe give us a break. But hey, listen, it's gambling. You can gamble on it.
So what do you think Finau's going to open at? So Ram open at 4.
Oh, I've already seen his opening odds.
6
plus 650.
Ah, I was close. All right.
Yeah, I bet Højgaard's gonna be 12-1. It's disgusting, but I might bet it.
I'm betting Tony. I'm gonna
bet
Tony.
So we don't need to do a betting show. You're just gonna bet Tony.
No. I'll bet 2 other guys that are deep down the odds boards because why not? And I'll do positionals and matchups and shit.
All right. Let's actually show this golf course and try and attempt to, give its proper due.
I don't mind the golf course. I'm not a big snob as you are.
So this is the golf course. This is the beautiful Vidanta Vallarta. It is essentially just a giant farm at this point. You got the marijuana plants. You got the marijuana plants over here. You got the coca plants over here. You got the blind tee shot par 4 right here through the forest. No, I'm kidding. This is when you go to Google Earth, basically the most, most recent 3D imaging or rendering of this place. You can see what it was before it was a golf course. Essentially just a giant farm. And we talked about last week how this, with Riviera, this is a canyon, but, George Thomas is a genius. He used all the slopes, whatever slopes they had to basically build the golf course. And they turned this farm into this. Just
It's pretty good.
it's pretty good. Why is it pretty good?
Dude, look what they
There's a
just
lot
did
of-
to that land. You gotta appreciate that.
I mean, it's a lot of water, but you notice that there was no water hazards over
No
here,
water.
over
No
here,
shot.
over here.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is Vidanta Vallarta. This is a Greg Norman design. This opened, I think, in 2016. It's funny that these guys are still going to Greg Norman's, considering he is a part of the enemy at this point. I am going to guess that by this time next year, the Mexico Open is going to be a Tigers course at El Cardinal, is my opinion.
Okay.
I think they're probably going to be looking to cut off any ties to Greg Norman going forward. But this is a, what's that?
Unless we're merged by then.
Okay, well, I don't know. It's becoming bleaker and bleaker as the days go on.
I know, man. I'm still trying to hold out hope.
I know. All right. Well, with this golf course, so opened in 2016, I think there's actually not a lot of information online about this golf course. Really, the only thing I could find as far as like what people think about it is just golf course reviews on Golf Pass, or there's, you can translate their website, but not really a whole lot to go upon with the history. So this is a par 71 golf course. It actually, for resort guests, is a par 73. There are, for the guests, there are 6 par 5s and 5 par 3s on the golf course. And I think on one stretch in the back 9, it goes par 5, par 3, par 5, par 4, par 5, par 3, par 5.
Yep.
Greg Norman just loves his par 5s, apparently. But for this tournament, the 4th hole, right, where is it? Here. So I showed it's 520. When I first charted out, I assumed it was just going to be what it was. This is going to play a long par 4. And number 16, which actually is kind of a tough hole, this is going to play as a long par 4 as well.
Which is the one that Chant fucking ejected on where he went into the bunker? That was a fun hole. Was that 16 or was that 15?
I don't know. So the thing is with this, I don't have a lot of memories of this tournament because every time it's the final round, I'm usually driving back from the Outer Banks, and I usually have a screaming.
Oh, that's true. That's that time of year.
So this is actually gonna be the first time I'm going to watch a lot of this year. And by the way, I just crapped on the PGA Tour schedule. Thank you for scheduling the Zurich the week I'm in the Outer Banks, so I don't have to worry about that stupid fucking tournament at all. It's just our bye week at that point. I can go on vacation, enjoy the NFL draft, enjoy how the Giants are going to make me miserable, and we'll just go from there. But so why don't we get to, I guess, to the closing stretch? I honestly, the first 7 holes, not really a lot to write home about. We talked about how, like with 15 earlier, that they did a really good job putting hazards in your eye line where you're supposed to be hitting it. A couple times with this golf course, like where the hazards are, you're not really aiming for it. Like, for example, the opening hole right here. So big dog leg right around the lake here. Yeah. But because it's so wide, you really can just aim for this bunker right over here and not even really worry about the lake. Like, no one's really hitting it in here. Like, unless you hit a giant banana slice.
Must be nice. Because I see water in my brain. Oof.
Right. I mean, guys aren't really hitting the water. They're sending in a nice little wedge shot here. Or what's another hole? Hole number 3 right over here. So you got water down the left, but these guys are so long. They just cut the corner. Just hit it just dead straight through the dog leg. It's not really relevant there. The next hole, the par 5, 6 hole right here. Like, you got water all the way over here. There's absolutely no reason to ever try and drive it down the left. Just hit it dead. Just aim right to the right here. Just take it all out of play. Like, there's no bunkers. Just blast it everywhere. From hole 7 to 10, that's where, like, the first start, like, adversity. When charting this golf course, there's the first 6 holes are pretty easy. The first 7 holes are pretty easy. Then there's a tough spot in the middle. Then it gets kind of easy. And then the closing stretch, actually, to its credit, is kind of tough. So starting with, from 7 to 10 here, you got a drivable par 4 here, 297. You got water to the left over here. So, eagle hole, birdie hole, that can be, provide some fireworks. Number 8 here, this is actually a tough driving hole. So you have out of bounds all the way to the left here. You got a bunker's 322. You have water all the way to the right. This is actually a tough driving hole. And you got water right next to the green over here.
Yeah.
Like this
Yep.
reminds me a lot of like a whole like PGA National.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it's at some Florida golf. And then again, you know, you got a peninsula green surrounded by water, 9th hole here. And then 10, the very next hole, again, another really tough driving hole. Kind of a narrow fairway, a waste bunker here, water to the right. Can't really, I mean, you could blast it way left, but you know, you go a little too far. There's out of bounds over here. So tough driving holes. Yep. Then you get a little bit of break. You know, the 11th, it takes a huge miss hit to get in this water here.
Yeah, you can't. I feel like you have to like hit it fat to get in the water
there. Basically, yeah. I mean, it's only hard for us. Let's zoom all the way then to the 16th. This is where things can get really interesting towards the end of the round. So long par 4. You have to play 505. You have out of bounds of the river over here. You got a ton of bunkers over the left. Again,
is there bunkers in front of the green on this one?
Yeah, there's bunkers right here. By the way, I think like a hurricane rolled through in the last satellite imagery because all this is flooded. Fun. So hopefully they fix these bunkers.
Yeah.
In time. When was this taken? October 2023. So yeah, that's prime like Mexico hurricane season rolling through there.
Yeah, this is I'm 99% sure this is the whole fucking Cam Champ ejected when I had him at whatever it fucking was, and he lost the fucking.
It probably was. But then 17, you got a long par 3 over water. You got to hit a draw, and draws like with these guys. We saw a little bit this week with the 4th hole. These guys hit a right to left shot. They can't really control it.
Nope.
And you can definitely overcook it into the water here. Like this is a tough hole. And then 18, par 5. You should birdie it, but you got a big bunker over here. There's also some mounds.
Yeah.
That I think Drum hit it into when he won.
Yeah, but he recovered.
He did. I know because you hit the outright that week.
I did.
But you also got out of bounds over here.
Yep.
So while it's a birdie hole, you know, there's ways that guys can get in trouble.
Yeah.
So it's not all that bad, this golf course. I don't think it's particularly interesting. The strategy, which we'll get to in a little bit, I don't think the routing is all that interesting. But listen, it's got a top stretch in the middle. I think the finish can definitely swing some tournaments. There's worse ones on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, my complaint isn't the golf course here. My complaint is the fucking field strength every goddamn year. It's never the golf course. Like the field strength is what is fucking gross.
It is. It really is. But listen, I mean, they're coming here, I guess, to grow the game in Mexico. It's Puerto Vallarta. It's essentially a free vacation to anyone who wants to, you know, take their families.
Yeah.
You know, they're going there in February break. Yeah, that's coming.
You know, that's only a thing up north, right?
February break?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So like when I moved down here and my kids were in school when they first got to go to school, I was like, when's February vacation? They were like, what? It's like February vacation. They're like, what are you talking about? I was like, you know, the week off we have in February. They're like, so yeah, we don't have that.
So do I have to find out who's from like the north and is bringing their kids this week because they're going to be?
Oh, that's a good hedge. Absolutely.
All right. So I'm gonna have to dig into where these guys went to college, where they went to school. Are these kids are in school here? I mean, most of these guys are from like Scottsdale and like Alabama and Florida.
That's true.
Probably not.
Yeah, it was funny. So like Disney, like we'd go to Disney around this time just because February is typically slow, but it was literally nothing but like mass holes and fucking people from New York. My wife was like, how come everybody here is from Massachusetts? I was like, February vacation. And it like even Pennsylvania didn't have it. It's literally New England and New York and maybe Jersey. That's it.
Okay. All right. So let's get rid of the course because not really a whole lot else to say. Hey, this is
nice clubhouse.
This is Riviera, actually. No, this is yeah, this is Riviera right here. Funny. All right, let's go into this. All right, so let's talk about the weather first. There's not really a whole lot to talk about. It's going to be no wind. It's going to be really hot every single day. I'm going to have to look and see if they got a lot of rain, but look at this forecast, though. A lot of sunshine. Might play a little firm.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, this is a pass-palm golf course. Wall-to-wall pass-palm. That is a golf course that plays very slow.
Yep, sticky.
So even if it's playing firm, I mean, the ball might run out a little bit, but the whole point of pass-palm, why it's really good for resort courses, is because it's like Velcro. The ball sticks essentially, or not sticks, but like it doesn't go very far if it hit the ground. It's, you know, and for resort guests, they have trouble hitting greens. There's a lot of shave down areas, so you can putt, from off the green. It's making sure the ball doesn't go too far. It also makes it very easy to chip off of, which is a prevailing theme here. We'll get to in a little bit. We go through golf course stats, but the ball sits up really nice on pass palm, almost like it's on a tee. It's a really good grass to hit on if you're going to a resort. But these guys also just hit really good off it. Some guys don't like the pass palm because it's a little weird for them. They want
Brooks,
it down.
Right? Brooks doesn't like it.
Brooks doesn't like Kikuyu.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah.
But that sits up a little bit too. A guy like that's more of like a picker or sweeper. This is more of a grass for them because the ball sits up a little bit. Guys like hitting it down on the ball.
I hate this.
They might have a little trouble because it might get a little spinny on them. But that's really high level. At that point, you can't really,
Quantify
can't really handicap based on that. I don't even know that. All right, let's talk about past results because this kind of explains what types of golfers you want to go for. So last year, Tony Finau went off at plus 775, which basically composite average of a couple books. He beat John Rahm, who went up at about plus 250. Gross. They crushed the field. Finau was 24 under. Rahm was 21 under. They beat Brandon Wu. Akshay Bhatia, I'm surprised he's not in the field. This is a perfect honeymoon destination for him where he should do well. Pass Palom too. Maybe he's fat and happy on the PG Tour now. The aforementioned Emilio Grillo fifth. Eric Cole, who plays every event, apparently too good for this event now. He was good here last year. Cam Champ, who's very good here. Joseph Bramlett, Bo Hostler, Patrick Rogers.
Rogers is interesting. What do you think? Rogers is gonna. What did you see Rogers' number yet?
I've not. I'm gonna guess he's probably gonna be
mid-20s.
Probably 30.
I think I like that. That's okay.
Well, he fits a lot of what you're looking for.
Yeah.
So why don't we just go to why breeze to the course table? I mean, listen, let me go to Lat in 2022 again. So a lot of bombers on that top 10 there.
Yep.
Kind of a similar theme back in 2022. Rahm beats Finau this time. Finau was 20-1 that week. He must have been really slumping headed there. Kirk Kitayama, big bomber. He was T2. Brandon Wu, Davis Riley, bomber. Alex Smalley can hit it out of far away. Cam Champ, Patrick Rogers.
Wise hit it far.
Wise back was hitting it far when he had confidence at that point.
Yep.
I mean, in case you don't get your Ches Reavie, your Nate Lashley's, but most of these guys here
hit a long
bombers. So let's go to the course stats here. This is going to be a breeze. Like I spent a lot of time in the last couple tournaments because there's actually stuff in it that plays a part in how you want to handicap it. Yep. Not a whole lot to really glom upon in these stats here. So plays about 7,300 yards. This is probably something to keep an eye on right here. The average yardage of the par fours and fives is 495. That I think is when you do the ranks, it's actually the longest collection of par fours and fives on the PGA Tour since 2015. Really long holes. And you saw a couple, a couple of these par fives, par fours, a couple of them were like 475, 480. I think one of the par fives is like 600 yards. Some really long par fours and fives. That's something to keep in mind when we get to the proximity stats in a little bit. But scoring, though, wise, I mean, look, out of 85 golf courses since 2015, it's the 65th hardest with par threes, 58th for par fours, 70th for par fives.
Easy peasy, man. Very
gettable. I think the average score 2 years ago was like 0.8 under par. Last year was 1 under par, which there's easier tournaments, scoring average wise than that. But you got to think about it's been really shitty fields. And the worse the fields are, the worse the scores are going to be with average. So the fact these guys are almost about a stroke.
Yeah, you got to look at the top of the board to see what they're doing. This is a birdie fucking fest,
essentially. Yeah. So, and as far as difficulty from each area, it was tough putting in 2022. I think there was a little bit of wind that year. Last year in dead calm conditions, it was 37th out of 45th as far as difficulty putting. So we're going to get dead calm conditions again this year. These guys are going to be able to putt really well in these pass following greens. 86 out of 87 golf courses turned with ease around the green. That is the pass column at that point. Really easy to chip out of. These bunkers aren't very challenging either. It's a lot of short grass around the green, so you can putt back up to the green as well. 64th in approach. Not very difficult approach shots. And 66th off the tee, which I guess that's really the only thing really to talk about. So the average driving distance is about 300 yards, and you showed it. Maybe I'll just pull up the Google Earth again. A lot of holes right in front of you. These fairways are about 40 yards wide. There's no reason not to hit driver at all. It's bombs away. this point. And other than like a couple water hazards where, some tough driving holes, you kind of blast it wherever you want. It's not very penal rough. It's definitely bombs away. So that's why a guy like Cam Champ, it's done very well here. Elite driver. Yeah. John Rahm, Finau, like elite drivers. I mean, they're head and shoulders better than everybody else anyways, but it was kind of a golf course that was catered to them. As far as missed fairway penalties, not very penal miss a fairway, especially in the rough here. If you go to the ranks. So last year, it was 34th out of 45 as far as the difference between your scoring on a hole if you hit in the rough versus not. 26 out of 45 just for general miss fairway. There can be a lot of penalty strokes that get pile up if you hit off the tee. Obviously, there's some water, some out of bounds you got to worry about. That's really your only adversity off the tee. As long as you keep it on grass, you're relatively fine. Approach play, very easy from under 150, about middle of the road from over 150. I talk about around the green, very easy conditions around the green. 86 out of 87 as far as the rough, how difficult it is around the green. And putting, it was really difficult back in 2022. I think when there was wind, not difficult on last year. So with not a whole lot of wind, I think these guys are really gonna putt pretty well on the golf course. So it's all about course fit. I love using this tool. It just basically tells me exactly what types of golfers are expected to do well. And you see again, kind of like last week at Riviera, guys who are long are generally the ones to target pre-tournament as far as predictive skill sets. You got to use driver a lot. There's a big fairway in order to hit. Not a whole lot of penalty of missing a fairway unless you hit into a water hazard. And we talk about a lot of the guys that were towards the top. A lot of bombers did very well. Drive accuracy, not very correlated to success. You got guys who are inaccurate. Maybe some guys are accurate to it that I showed as well. But again, like that's not something you really want to be focused on. It's mostly guys with big driving distances have an edge. Slight edge to guys who are pretty good putters just because, past Palom can be a pretty good grass to putt on. Not a lot of grain.
Smooth, right?
Yeah, it's fairly smooth. It's a vertical growing grass, so there's no grain to it like a Bermuda.
Yeah.
As far as like approach play and around the green play, it's about your PG Tour average as far as importance. Obviously you always want to target, your iron play. It's very predictive to success. It's no different than any other course, though. Really, this is the only thing to keep in mind, though, that you really want to put a premium on is driving distance this week. Now, that's not to say that, like, there haven't been guys who have been good on past Palom golf courses that are short hitters. Like, most past Palom golf courses they play, other than Mayakoba, like your Puerto Rico Opens, Corrales,
they're all
there's been guys who, what's that?
Filled with a bunch of bums.
Yeah, it's filled with a bunch of bums, eh? But, like, Graham McDowell's won in Puerto Rico. Joel Damon won Puerto Rico. So even though it's past Palom, because usually with past Palom, you want to target long hitters because the ball just doesn't roll out very far.
Right.
There are some guys who are past Palom aces in the field. For example, Adam Long. I don't think he's in the field, but I know he's really good on past Palom in general. Not a very big hitter. Carson Young apparently is pretty good on past Palom. He did well in Puerto Rico. He did well last year at El Cardinal. Some shorter hitters just might, like this surface. So, like, if you do DFS or maybe get a good positional price on, some of those guys, because listen, everybody's gonna go for the bombers this week. I'm gonna be saying it. Anyone else who breaks down this golf course, they're gonna be saying it. Bombers, bombers, bombers. They're gonna be the most popular players to pick this week. If you find guys who have a good track record on past Palom, especially at Corrales and Grand Reserve, and even El Cardinal, the one they played last fall at Tigers course. If you see some shorter hitters do fairly good at those places, that might be a sneaky play. But otherwise, though, probably the winner is going to be a guy who's really long. It just plays really to their favor, this one. And then let's look at how last year, and we can see it too with when we talk about like how guys actually separate themselves in tournament. Let me actually zoom in a little bit. This is a little small. So last week at Riviera, where it was really difficult to hit the fairway, guys couldn't really separate themselves off the tee. Like even if you look at like the stats at this recent tournament, like guys are not getting a lot of strokes off the tee. Most guys are hitting fairways. Here, high fairway hit percentages, not a whole lot of difficult adversity if you miss it in the rough here. Guys can really separate themselves with how well they drive, especially with all the penalty areas too. And the biggest driver of how you do off the tee this week is going to be your distance. And I've been talking about this every time I do this. While distance is more predictive to success, in tournament, the more fairways you hit, generally speaking, drive your strokes gained off the tee number. That is the inverse this week, though. It is way more important towards how you do off the tee this week with how far you hit it, now how accurate you are. And then in approach play, around the green play, putting, it's about PGA Tour average as far as their importance, as far as how well you can separate yourself. I think this is 2022. 2023, same thing. How you do off the tee can definitely separate yourself more this week than what is on the, you usually you do it in a tournament, and it's driven by distance. Everything else is kind of the same. So if you're going to put a premium on something in your models, definitely want to weight distance a little more. And your approach shot distribution chart, really long approach shots. So I think just eyeballing this looks like about 34% of your shots are under 175. So about 66% of your shots are over 175. Again, we just said that there was a lot of really long par 4s and 5s, the longest of any golf course in the PGA Tour since played since 2015. Long par 5s, long par 4s. It's really all, focusing on approach play from over 175 is going to be very important this week. Obviously Finau and Rahm are just better than everybody else, but one of the reasons why they were able to separate themselves a lot more than everybody else is because they're just premium players with their long irons.
Yeah, they're the fucking studs of the field.
Well, you also look at like Cam Champ too. Like he sucks with his wedges, but he hits
he's still better than the bums he was playing against.
Well, I don't know. Cam Champ is kind of a bum, but when you put him in a golf course where distance is valued and long irons are valued, kind of like Augusta National, you get a Cam Champ golf course. So that's just kind of what happens here. But that's really it. There's not really a whole lot of strategy to this place. Obviously, I spent a lot more time on Riviera trying to hype you guys up about the golf course. I'm not even going to try and do it about this place. Just it's going to be about how you drive it. Longer hitters are going to be really popular this week. You're going to, and then it's going to come down to how well you hit your long irons and if you can putt on paspalum. That's it.
Okay.
That's the preview.
That's it. All right. So we got Matt on Monday doing the DFS show. Me and you will be back on Tuesday. To do our
no guest this time.
Nope. Did we have a guest last week?
No, we don't.
We had Joe last week. Okay.
Yeah.
No guest this time.
Yeah, we don't bring on guests for the shit tournaments. We like going down the odds board and doing our shtick, just the two of us.
Correct.
Yeah, that's exactly. Because then we'd be silly gooses. Yeah, we'd be silly gooses at this point instead of just trying to worry about including them.
What guests we bring questions. Yeah, but it depends on which guests we bring on. I say 90% of our guests we can silly goose with.
That's probably true.
Yeah, so. Maybe 80%. Either way, yeah. So I'll be on Andy's show tomorrow night, and he brings me on for these silly goose tournaments because we will just talk about anything other than the fucking golf course. So I'll be on that, and then we'll be back on Tuesday so I can explain to you why single bulleting Tony, other than anybody who's 80 to 1 or longer, is a good strategy.
Okay.
And then Steve can try to talk me into Patrick Rogers, probably. Yeah.
22 to 1 Patrick Rogers. I don't even know if I can do that.
Hey man, listen, this is we've already said this is a new golf world, and this is the way we just have to live. This is the way it is. No pun intended.
That's true. I mean, all right. So I guess just initial lean, just looking at who's in the field. Taylor Pendrith, Patrick Rogers, Keith Mitchell's been playing a little better lately.
Is he in the field?
A long ways.
I missed that.
He is in the field, and I think he's got a second place finish in Puerto Rico.
No, Cam. No fucking Carson. Cam. No.
Cam, you missed it. I point out an example of a shorter hitter with success on paspalum. Those might be sneaky plays. He's not going to win, but there might be sneaky plays in DFS or maybe get a decent price in positional because some of these shorter hitters do well on paspalum.
I'm asking Sean and Ryan for a fucking shot caller so I can send him So I'm going to send you a shot collar, and we get to control it. And anytime you bring up Cass and Young, I get to hit the fucking button.
I was watching Love is Blind. Have y'all ever watched that show?
No, of course not. Why the fuck would I watch that show?
Yeah, don't watch it. I'm so sorry. I missed the Carson talk, but Carson is playing great golf. He played really great golf in his last start. He's gonna at least finish top 20.
He played really good golf in his last start in Phoenix.
Yeah, he did.
Are you talking about because he birdied?
Why are we watching Love is Blind? No. Let's get to the real important thing.
Carson Young.
Why the fuck?
Dude, he finished 41st.
Yeah, he played well.
He would not have cashed anything. You're not cashing positional, not cashing anything at that point.
All
right. Love is Blind. I need you to explain to me why you watch this garbage.
No, we don't. This has been an hour.
Yes, I do.
I'll explain offline.
Okay.
It's more fun to make him explain on air.
It's just like The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. Like you just watch it and you just turn.
Not helping yourself.
Yeah. I bet your daughters watch it.
My daughters absolutely do not watch Love is Blind. They watch one of them. But you watch The Bachelor and Bachelorette as well?
No, I don't.
Well, my wife is like The Bachelor and Bachelorette. So one would.
No, my wife was watching it and I was playing Fortnite, and so I'm like, I'm watching it too. So
now Fortnite's something I never understood. The appeal.
So I play Fortnite with my daughter. I play Fortnite with three of my daughters.
It's fun.
I don't get it. I don't get why people.
So I just don't like the building part of Fortnite. It pisses me off.
You don't have to play.
I know. Now they have it. We can just do it when we don't build. And that's my favorite one because I can run around and shoot people all day. I grew up playing third-person shooters.
The two people still watching this, by the way, thank you. Thank you for putting up with this.
Whatever, man, this
Fortnite and Love is Blind discussion. You guys are the true fans.
That's right. We'll see if we can clicked off on the audio version. Fortnite is fun to play with your kids, man. It's not like bloody, but you still get to kill. It's like, so I play Call of Duty with my two older ones because that's pretty gruesome. I'm not playing that with my fucking 10-year-old. No, my 10-year-old likes to play Fortnite.
That's what I grew up on too. But Fortnite's fun, and it's like you said, it's like not like super gory, and it's more like animated. Yeah. My son just sits on my lap, and every time I like get a kill or like he just goes, "Oh,
nice!" I love it.
It's fun. He's only 2, so
yeah, man, that's good shit. Those are good times, man. Hold on to that.
All right, let's wrap up the show.
All right, let's wrap it up. All right, Cam will be here, popping in, talking about his latest Kardashian and what's the other one? The one I really have no clue about. This Vanderpump something or other. Like Cam can come in and give us the Vanderpump and Kardashian updates on a weekly basis. Seeing how
I think I'd rather hear him maybe on Tuesday talk about the Justin Fields rumors for the Steelers.
Ooh,
we're gonna have a lot of stuff to probably fill in that hour, so maybe we can.
That's true.
Come on for that.
That's true.
Okay,
it's true. It's true. All right. Well, listen, I'll be on Andy's show Monday. Me, Steve, and our TMZ reporter Cameron will be back on on Tuesday as well to fill you guys in on what's happening with the Kardashians, and we can take it from there. Other than that, listen to Matt on Monday. See you fuckers on Tuesday. Bye.